let's talk about what the Knicks are doing today. They've made a couple of roster moves, all towards the end of the bench. But I want to break them down. I got Tony here. We got Andy here. Discuss these moves and whether or not they mean something bigger could be coming. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Then I want to talk with Andy and Tony, see what they think about it. All right, so earlier today, it's been confirmed that the Knicks have entered into a 3-team trade with the Los Angeles Lakers and the Cleveland Cavaliers. So what the Knicks get, they get Denzel Valentine, a 6'4" shooting guard from that was originally drafted in 2017 to the Chicago Bulls, played there 4 seasons. This season, he was with the Cleveland Cavaliers. He got traded to the Lakers. Lakers are moving him to the New York Knicks. All right, former first-round draft pick. He was a 14 pick by the Chicago Bulls. The Knicks also get the draft rights to Wayne Zeeland. They get the draft rights to Brady Newley, and they get $1.1 million in cash considerations. The Los Angeles Lakers, they get the rights to Louis Labarre, however you say his name. I'm not exactly sure. All right, you remember that guy. He's got, the big hair. He's always in the Knicks summer camp, but he never, ever made it to the team. Also,
he's French. He's French, remember.
Right, he's French, exactly. He's French, another French guy. And also, the New York Knicks helped the Los Angeles Lakers to clear $4.4 million. And the Cleveland Cavaliers get Rajon Rondo. So that's the way everything has broken down so far. We don't know if the Knicks are going to do anything else. That's the first move we're going to talk about. And then we got another move to talk about because the Knicks also signed Ryan Arcidiacono to a 10-day contract. And they waived Wayne Selden. We'll get to those. We'll break this down first. Andy, your thoughts on this deal?
Yo, what up, Sim? What up, Tone? What up to the chat? Sim, this deal has like 2 sides of the medal for me. One, I'm happy they are trying to bring some kind of fresh blood. Then again, I think the move is going to basically try to save us money, and I don't think 1.1 million is going to be like anything that's that much for the Knicks. The more and I think that we're going to actually cut the Denzel Valentine because just to bring up key dates from the season, January 7th and January 10th are key dates in this season because on January 10th, all unguaranteed contracts are going to be guaranteed.
Right.
For teams to get rid of those unguaranteed contracts and save that money, they got to waive a guy on the 7th of January so he can clear waivers. That's the thing that's going to, let the teams get off that hook for that guaranteed money. So that's why we basically waived Wayne Selden because on January 7th, his salary would be guaranteed. Mm-hmm. We got Denzel Valentine in that deal, which probably is going to get cut. And, it's going to save us, a little bit more money. And listen, the most thing that bothered me about this deal, that we saved the money for the Lakers. Even not for the Lakers, for Lakers and LeBron James, man. That drives me crazy, man. I hate helping out other franchises that got stuck with salary cap situation because I love to read and know everything about the salary cap situation. And, some franchises are like, listen, we're going to sign 3 max contracts, and we're going to sign all vets that are chasing a ring. And now we help a franchise like that. Nobody wants to see another team get all those stars, no matter if they're young, old, whatever. Nobody of us, wants to see those, all-star teams on one team. And we are helping, a team like that. That bothers me the most. And till this time, I was like, maybe not cool. I was like mixed on decisions of Leon Rose, right? Now he went under the curve for me. So he got to watch himself as far as I see.
See, I don't like it either. I don't like it either, but I do understand business is business. And, at some point down the line, maybe the Knicks, maybe Leon Rose is going to need the Los Angeles Lakers to help get a deal done. You know what I mean? So it's
Sim,
like, hey,
listen.
I just threw you a bone. Now it's time for you to throw me a bone, when we need something. You dig what I'm saying?
Man, LeBron's gonna turn his back on us like he did in 2010 or whatever. Man, I'm not hoping for him to help us nothing.
And,
So
and look, it's the agents. Rob Pelinka used to be an agent, right? It's that little agent brotherhood. Like, okay, listen, I got you. You gonna get me? I got you. You know what I mean? Tony, what do you think, man?
This is why I hate going last, right? Because both of you guys made the exact points that I wanted to make. As far as helping the Lakers, I agree. It's building a relationship, a foundation. You know what I mean? And then great thing you point out with the agent relationship. Like if you know anything about the Knicks, this new regime, everything they've done has been based off of some type of prior relationship, whether it's the Kentucky connection, the friendship with Tibbs and Leon, or the CAA connection. So to broaden out their, the places they could get help from and help people, I had no problem with it, especially when it didn't affect us in a negative way. I mean, we waving Seldon, who was seldom used, and I doubt we keep Valentine either. So as far as it being a pipeline for something down the line, I think it could be, but it won't be anything huge. Like Andy said, $1 million is not gonna make or break a trade, I don't think. But the fact that I believe they're gonna waive these Valentine, I think, and have an open roster spot. I think they wouldn't do that if nothing was in the pipeline.
Yeah. I don't know where, they waived Wayne Selden. And then, of course, they picked up Ryan Arcidiacono. Hopefully I said his name correctly.
But that's part of a different,
right?
You know what I mean?
That's part of something different. That's not the same move. But we're going to get to him shortly. But maybe waiving Wayne Selden, made room for Ryan. And then if they waive Denzel Valentine, they'll have room for, to bring in another 10-day contract or whatever it is that they decide to do.
I think the situation here is we waived Selden to make room for Valentine, and we signed Arcidiaconov to the 10-day contract. And when we waive Selden, when we waive Valentine, we're going to have that extra roster spot to resign Arcidiaconov for the rest of the season.
So
be that.
So is Ryan? I'm just going to say Ryan.
Yeah.
Is he? Because his last name is long, so I'll just say Ryan. Is he one of the emergency signings? I believe he's one of the emergency signings.
Yeah, the 10-day contract, hard exception or whatever.
Yeah.
So
hardship.
He's going to be in that sign. But Sim, I saw like 2 days ago that, and I don't remember who was reporting it, but they were talking about him back then.
Yeah, I remember.
You know what light my light bulb above my head. Like I was like, we got Taj Gibson at center as our only center, and we are adding a point guard. Right. That means, with D-Rose out so many weeks, like 6, maybe 5 weeks, Kemba's, results on that knee might be really bad, or at least they're expecting it's not going to be good, right? So unless they want to roll the whole offense, bringing up the ball through RJ and Julius. As we saw, Tibbs doesn't maybe, trust McBride like that again. So we got a guy like Ryan A.
Yeah, right. Ryan A. Listen, he's 27 years old, 6'3", he's a point guard. He's got career averages of 4.8 points per game, 2 rebounds, 2.2 assists. He shoots 43% from the field, 37% from the three-point line, and he's 80% from the free throw line. It does make you wonder, with so many centers down, and this was, a couple of days ago, like you said, that it was announced somewhere along the line that the Knicks were looking into signing this guy, and you were like, hey, we're down centers. We got Quentin Grimes. We got Miles McBride. We got Emmanuel Quickly. We got some guards out there. We got R.J. Barrett. We got Alec Burks. Why are we signing another 6'3" point guard? I think I agree with you. I think the Knicks are maybe a little bit nervous about Kemba and his knee and maybe know something that we don't already. And need that, need another guard. Need another guard to ride the end of the bench just in case. I don't know, how much he can really do. I haven't seen him play much. He played for the Bulls last year, I believe, as recently as last year. When he played for the Bulls last season, let's see what he was giving the Bulls last season. Last season, he played 10 minutes a game, 3.1 points, 1.3 assists. His best season was in 2018, 2019. 6.7 points per game, 3.3 assists per game. He's a guy that, seems to be able to shoot the three ball. Maybe he's a tough, scrappy defender. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. That's the MO.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see where these moves eventually take the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to wait until it's all said and done to really take a look at, the roster count and all that kind of stuff, before you really just start to make it or really start to make any predictions about what the Knicks might be doing or if anything else is in the works. I don't know. Any other thoughts on these moves right here as they are?
I mean, again, I think the consensus is Valentine is not going to stick. I think that is an interesting point. That they had interest in this guy, and we're not sure on the timetable on Kemba or Rose. The question is, are we bringing him in as the third stringer? Are we relying on Deuce right now in the starting role and Quickly as a backup, or is he jumping
ahead of McBride,
the pegging order, if you will?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Me and Sim were talking about this before we hopped on the on the show. Listen, if Tibbs doesn't trust Deuce McBride to play over a guy that he saw probably on highlight tapes, but he's a little bit older, this doesn't bode well for McBride, because Arcidiacono, he was in the G League this season, so they basically picked him up from the G League. And listen, and I don't know why I rather stick with McBride. I don't think that's a huge difference between those two guys. And if he's gonna come into the Knicks and just take McBride's minutes, man, fans are gonna eat Tibbs alive.
They're gonna go crazy. Fans will go crazy if that happens. You know what I'm saying? I tend to think he's just gonna be a guy that's gonna ride the end of the bench, especially right now. You know what I mean? When they're signing him as a hardship signing, maybe he'll get some burn. Maybe, Damian Dotson got a couple of minutes. Maybe he'll get a couple of minutes, and then they'll make some decisions when they can sign 10-day contracts. what I'm looking forward to really is when all of this is said and done and the Knicks start to get players back, that there's going to be one roster spot available. And I'm hoping that they're then going to use that roster spot to make some kind of a move during, before the deadline. That's what I'm hoping. I don't know. We'll see. A lot of guards on the team, though. Now, when you look at this signing, just a lot of guards on the team. Most of them aren't going to be around for too much longer, though. Right? Because they picked up a lot of people because of the, hardship and everything. You got Tyler Hall, Daniel House, Matt Mooney, Damian Dotson. Wayne Selden is now gone. Miles McBride is out there. Obviously, he's signed to a contract. Quentin Grimes is signed to a contract with the Knicks. You got Emmanuel Quickly. But you got a lot of guys down here at the end that, just really aren't going to do much with the Knicks and do not have a future. So I guess we'll see what happens there. And by the way, Denzel Washington makes 1.9. Denzel Washington.
That's a Valentine sim.
I've been doing that all day long. I recorded a video earlier, and I had to keep re-recording it because I kept saying Denzel Washington. And you know why Denzel Washington's on my mind? Because I was watching Julito he tweeted something. Or he responded to somebody. He was like, I have a Denzel Washington gift for every situation, right? and ever since then, when this happened, I've been saying Denzel Washington. I can't stop saying it. Denzel Valentine makes $1.9 million this season, and he makes $2.1 million next season. As long as his option is, as long as he's not waived before the 10th of
January 7th, yeah.
Yeah, or January 7th. So, yeah. That's, that is what it is, man. That is what it is. This is where we are right now with the New York Knicks. We just got all kinds of players coming into the roster. We may see more players come onto this team this year than Melo had throughout his entire career with the Knicks. And that's a lot because Melo had a lot of players play with him throughout his time with the New York Knicks. That's a lot. But we'll see where this ends up with the New York Knicks, man. I'm waiting to hear some news about Kemba Walker. Can't wait to hear about what our future is with him and if there's going to be any moves that way. I've seen somebody make a suggestion that the Knicks were trying to bring in more money so that they could waive Kemba Walker. It doesn't really make any sense. You don't need to bring in $1.1 million to waive Kemba Walker. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what that is. But any last thoughts on this before we, talk a little bit about last night's game?
Yeah, listen, the thing that we're looking at point guards instead of a big man, it's kind of stressing me out. Because, we didn't have that much of a hope when Kemba got here, but we still ain't even in the half season. And he might be ruled out for the season. I hope I'm wrong. I'm dead wrong. I hope I'm dead wrong, man. And he's going to be back like on Friday. So,
yeah.
But this would be, really bad. And the situation with D-Rose and, the several weeks he's out, ain't helping, the Knicks.
Yeah. I read somewhere that it's possible that the Knicks might get Nerlens Noel or Jericho Sims back for Indiana.
We'll need that.
So, that'll be big. That'll definitely be big if we get those guys back. Because it's needed big time. You know what I mean? Big time. So let's talk about last night's game a little bit because, of course, we took another loss.
Sam, you see the comment from the Bulls fan?
Nah, I didn't.
The last comment. He basically said, as a Bulls fan, he guarantees that Valentine and the point guard is better than the guys we have on our team.
Hey, if they are, then they play. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. I believe both of these guys played together last season with the Chicago Bulls as well. Right? So they might have some familiarity with each other, from being practice players or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? But we'll see what the Knicks decide to do with both of them. Any thoughts on last night's game, though?
I didn't get to watch it, so I might have saved myself, some agony. I checked some of the score while I was at work, and then I had to take a ride to, take a road trip. So I didn't get to look at it. I saw the final score, and it's getting embarrassing. It's getting embarrassing. Some of these losses that we're taking right now.
Yeah. I was hoping that I was going to see the lineup play together a little bit better. You know what I mean? Build a little bit of chemistry since it was game 2. Obviously, it's only been 2 games. So the lineup would probably get better and better and better if they played together longer. I'm not saying that they would get better to the point where, they go on a 8-game win streak. I'm just saying you would probably see them get more familiar with one another and look a little bit more comfortable out there on the floor. It's just right now we don't have that amount of time for them to get comfortable, but we have no choice but to throw them out there on the floor. Now, the Indiana Pacers, they're missing some key players as well. Maybe not as many as the Knicks, but they're also missing some key players. So we'll see how that turns out for the Knicks. I think Brogdon is out. LeVert, I think, is out.
Duarte
is out.
TJ Warren
is out.
So
he's been out.
They basically have like Sabonis and Turner from the starting line.
Right. So they're missing some key guys as well. So, maybe Indiana, maybe we can pull one out against the Pacers. But last night, Andy, anything that you saw last night is there anything that you saw that you can point to and say, hey, that's a positive?
Oh, yeah, you want me to start like that? Then I can't say nothing, Sim. Yeah, but listen, to be true, I was one of the proponents of Randall sitting out a couple of games, but to the situation so we can see which of our second-tier guys are going to step up and kind of settle the pecking order of this team, right? The situation, the bad situation that we're currently in, which is we don't have centers, we don't have point guards, doesn't allow us to, settle this situation still with Randall being out. The offense that Tibbs built for this team is so Randall heavy that, just plugging in Obi instead of Randall and comparing those guys to skill sets, it's not going to be easy for Obi to, I'm not going to call it run the offense, just play with the ball through Obi. And, in college, we saw him try to be a facilitator because they were, if they were playing weaker teams, it's, everybody's going to look better, right? And the difference between Randall's game and Obi's game on the playmaking and playmaking ability side is that Obi facilitated from around the free throw line, right? Meanwhile, Randall, he turns and faces the hoop and tries to attack it. I think, Obi, when he was facilitating, he was with the back to the hoop. And, now we see Obi going deeper to the post and trying to, pass the guy. And, his first step isn't that fast. He needs to gain that little bit speed to get that advantage, right? If you're in the basically under the hoop in the post, you don't have the space to gain that speed because you're going to be on the other side of the hoop when you're in that top speed, right? So I think this offense isn't in the, Obi isn't a player that you can replace him with replace Randall with Obi. And it's going to be hard for basically any power forward in this league. Maybe a Sabonis could replace him, like, off the bat. But I don't think it's a really easy situation for any power forward in the league to replace Randall and running this offense. So as much as I would love the Knicks to play a different way, replacing Randall with someone else is not going to solve that situation. We would have to tweak, maybe not even tweak the offense, turn around the offense a totally different way. And Tibbs is not going to do it because Randall is going to be out like 2 or 3 games. That would be crazy to do with him. So listen, Obi had 19 points, 6 assists. Even though he was put in that position, he had 6 assists. That's why we saw that this offense is heavily based around playmaking from the power forward position. He might not be the best passer, but he still had 6 assists.
In his fourth season, and over the last
that probably was his was career high for Obi with assists, right? And listen, I think he wasn't playing that bad. We expected a little bit more than 80 points, though. I'm not gonna lie, 80 points is like, you have most times you have it, after 3 quarters.
Right.
So
last night we had 95. I mean, not that much more. No, 105.
Yeah,
105. 120 to 105.
Yeah, but it still was looking. The offense was looking so bad that, listen, I don't know how they got those 15 points that I didn't see.
Yeah. I don't know, Tony.
Yes, sir.
Anything positive? Because Andy couldn't find anything positive that you could take from last night.
You know what, Sim? Because I'm not gonna say that Fournier was the leading scorer, man. People are gonna eat me alive, man. I'm not gonna point out that he played a good game. So
I mean, he shot the ball well, but he had 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals,
he was
0
zero
blocks.
across the board.
Zeros across the board. Anything that you can take from that game last night? I guess Obi had a good game.
I gotta go with Obi. Yeah. I mean, what how many points he had?
19
points.
19, 6, and 6.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good stat line from him. I mean, I'm hoping, honestly, with the increased playing time, maybe he finds himself a little bit more. He's gonna have a lot more freedom, so he'll be able to make some mistakes and play through them. But maybe he just gets some rhythm now to where he could be a reliable part of the rotation once Randall does return. I am interested. I think I didn't see the game, so I don't know if he played any of the 5. But I heard coach say that he was going to look into that. So I am interested in seeing him play some at the 5. So I mean, yeah, I got to go with Obi as the positive right now. But I mean, it's tough to even pull, like Andy said, because I mean, that's the team we should have beat. I feel like, even with the guys we had out, or it should have been at least more competitive.
Oh, I was gonna say Toronto's a team we should have beat.
Oh no, excuse me, the prior game.
OKC.
OKC.
Yeah.
I missed the Toronto game, but I did see some of that. That was that third quarter was crazy, man. Where Van Fleet.
Fred VanVleet started going off in that third quarter. I mean, I guess Obi is one thing that you can take away from the game. That you can say, okay, maybe he's getting a little bit more rhythm to his game. They're starting to figure out ways that they can find Obi in that offense, or it could have just been, the game was a blowout and Toronto relaxed a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because once you got to the end of that third quarter, you knew from, once Toronto went up 17 in the first half, you knew the Knicks weren't going to have enough firepower to get back into the game. They did climb back into it a little bit. I think they got it to like 11, but they could never really get over the hump. And you knew the game was over with.
Sim, the Raptors were missing so many shots. I was like, man, if they're going to start to hit these, it's going to be, whoa, it's going to be a blowout.
Yeah.
They were missing so many shots that I was like, They're teasing with us. So
Yeah. There was one point in the game. I don't remember who it was. The Raptors ran a screen and roll at the top of the key. They came down the lane and they got a dunk, right? RJ was in position to help out. Fournier was in position to help out. And Obi really, he wasn't really in that much position until the ball, I guess, got straight up to the rim. He was guarding, not the short corner, but he was guarding the corner three. RJ turned around and pointed at Obi. Obi pointed at Fournier, and Fournier points back at Obi. That wasn't a good look for the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't get a chance to get the clip in because I wanted to get the clip in so we can break it down and figure out whose fault it really was. You know what I'm saying? But it just wasn't a good look for them, to turn around and just start pointing at one another. I just hope the team isn't cracking at the seams, really. I mean, we know that they're losing games, but if they're starting to lose trust in one another, that's the end of the season. I'm sorry. If they don't trust each other on the floor, then to me, that means this season is over.
I mean, Sim, I agree 100%. And to me, it goes right back to that whole pecking order thing. Because, it was Julius and then question mark all across the board. So you take Julius out and it's just question mark. Like nobody knows who's supposed to step up, who's supposed to be what. You know what I mean? Like, and granted, most of that is offensively, but I think even defensively, I don't think Randall has gotten the credit that he deserves as a top 5 defender in his position currently, and it goes untalked about and unnoticed. But you take him out the game, and you're gonna notice everything.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's something. It's something. It's something to see right now. Hopefully, we start to get some guys back, and we can start to play. You just play better. I'm not even. Just play better. Just play better. If you're just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, we broke down the Knicks 3-way trade with the Lakers and the Cavaliers. In the trade, the Knicks get Denzel Valentine, which most people think is going to be waived. They also get the draft rights to Wang Zealand. They get the draft rights to Brady Newley and $1.1 million in cash considerations. The Lakers, they get the rights to Louis Laboure. And the Knicks, they helped the Lakers to clear $4.4 million. Right? And I guess, just through these trades is how they helped them to clear $4.4 million. And the Cleveland Cavaliers, they get Rajon Rondo to replace Ricky Rubio. They changed one double R for the other double R. Not much there for the Knicks, really. Denzel Valentine is probably going to get waived. These other guys will probably never see the light of day in the NBA for the New York Knicks. The Knicks also signed Ryan Arcidiacono to a 10-day contract. He's 27 years old, 6'3". He's a point guard. He has career averages of 4.8 points per game, 2 rebounds, 2.2 assists. He shoots 43.1% from the field and 37.3% from the three-point line. He also shoots 80.7% from the free throw line. So we'll see what that amounts to. And I think I seen him on the bench last night versus Toronto. I think I seen him on the bench.
I think that was Matt Mooney.
Oh, maybe that was Matt
also,
Mooney. Okay, yeah, you're probably right. That was Matt Mooney. Okay. So we'll see if he comes in and gets any playing time for the New York Knicks. Obviously, the Knicks are down. Kemba Walker, they're down. Derrick Rose. Miles McBride got pulled in the first half after 4 minutes and didn't get back into the fourth quarter. Tom Thibodeau wasn't happy with his play. So there may be room for this guy to come in and get some burn and prove to Tom Thibodeau that he deserves some minutes out there. I don't know. We're going to find out soon, I guess. Find out very soon.
Yeah, he didn't come back into the fourth quarter.
To the fourth quarter, he got pulled. Early in the first half for Alec Burks. Tom Thibodeau said he thought he needed a little bit more scoring punch than what Miles McBride was able to give, and he didn't get back into.
And Van Fleet punched him with scoring. Right?
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'll say this. Burks has been somewhat of a disappointment of late. The guy's been the Swiss Army knife for us all year, and now's the time to really step up and, I felt like be a leader for this team, or at least a scoring leader. And I think he's underwhelmed, in my personal opinion.
And Tony, you can say the same thing. You can say the same thing about IQ. Listen, what better situation? Even I wouldn't be mad if he would be scoring like 20 couple. I don't care about this, shot selection nowadays. We don't have, better guys to take a shot even. So I would be pissed about him, pulling up from three.
Yeah.
And, he also, didn't come up with the points. So.
Yeah, I know. I know. We'll see, ladies and gentlemen. We will see. Tomorrow night, let's get some quick thoughts on tomorrow night's game against Indiana. And then we'll go ahead and get up out of here. Any thoughts on tomorrow night's game? Andy, I'll start with you, then we'll come over to Tony.
Yes, listen, actually, if we get back Netherlands Noel and Sims, or at least, anyone, actually, if we get back a big body, because, those two guys are going to be playing over 40 minutes, I'm guessing, with all of these guys out. If we get back Noel and Sims, I think we really got a chance, because the rest of the guys, I think if we're not even, we might be even a little bit better on the matchups, because those guys got plenty of dudes out, thanks to the protocol. But the biggest fear is still around Sabonis, and we won't have Randall, that's for sure. But if we have at least Netherlands Noel, and I know people not gonna love his defense, but he can bother guys like a Sabonis. So if he's gonna be able to at least keep him down to 20 points and even 10 rebounds and 5 assists, I think we still got a chance to get this W. And Sim, just to add to this thing, I don't know if you saw the interview of Fournier, the post-game interview. He was talking about him being comfortable of running the offense. He did it with other teams. He said that he did it actually from his high school years, and he was drafted as a point guard to the Nuggets, to the NBA. So listen, that might be something that he's maybe looking to do to help out the team in that way. If instead of a guy like, if Tibbs doesn't have faith in Deuce, I still rather see Fournier bring up the ball than a guy like Archidiakono that we didn't see play more than 5 games in our lives versus when we played versus the Bulls, right? So, and listen, I know I saw Fournier at Team France on the Olympics. He played well as the shot creator, playmaker, and stuff like that. I know this is not the Olympics, this is the NBA. But he can cover us, the point guard position for a couple of games.
It'll be interesting to see if that's what Tom Thibodeau decides to do, if he's feeling that desperate. and the Knicks are clearly, desperate right now from the point guard position. How much with Denver did he actually?
Yeah, he didn't play much. He didn't play much with that Denver. They had Andre Miller, and he was never injured. That was a
Iron Man.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He was definitely an Iron Man. He wasn't getting hurt for nothing. He was going to be out there on the floor. It'd be interesting to see what can it hurt right now. You know what I'm saying?
I dare all the Knicks fans to Google, Fournier versus Team USA, and you're going to see that he's handling the ball, and he has a really similar center in Gobert and Mitch. Mitch is out for us now. But listen,
No,
he can play
he's
the
back.
pick and roll with a guy that's going to roll to the hoop, and I have no doubts about that. But Randall doesn't roll to the hoop, so that pick and roll is not going to be effective between those two guys.
Yeah. Actually, though, with Mitchell Robinson, the Knicks PR team just tweeted out that Mitchell Robinson and Jericho Sims have been cleared for health and safety protocols. So
that's great. That's great news.
Yeah, that's really good news. So hopefully those guys, they'll be back in uniform, and because we need them. We need both of them. Right now we're trying to ride out Taj Gibson. You know what I'm saying, and try to get the most out of Taj Gibson, but we need both of these guys to be ready to play. You know what I mean? Now, Jericho Sims, I would think Jericho Sims may not get much playing time because he was out for a long time. Mitch, though, Mitch was only out for a game, right? Just one game. So, I think Mitchell Robinson might be ready to go since he wasn't out for such a long time. But Jericho Sims, even if the Knicks need him out there, I don't think he's going to be able to play. He's just not going to be in shape.
I hope you're wrong, son, because I think his strength down there it could be very needed. Especially I like Mitchell's size against Sabonis, but Sabonis, you know what I mean? Like he's kind of a bully ball type player.
Yeah.
I don't think
crafty.
Sims. I don't think Sims will. I mean, that's where Sims may slip up with the craftiness, but he's not going to just get bullied and bodied. Mitch still has to work on that aspect with some of these stronger guys.
Sims has 6 fouls, man. That can help us.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I just, just looking at, when some of the other guys came back from health and safety protocol, and Sims has been out for a long time. They said they need to get reconditioned before they get back out there on the court. Mitchell Robinson, it's just been a couple of days. So I think he'll definitely come back and play. Nerlens Noel's been out forever, it seems like. I hope he's okay. You know what I mean? Because he's been out for a very long time.
I hope he's okay too. He got paid for it.
I mean, if anything like that happened, the insurance would cover his salary and the Knicks would get that money back. But man, I hope he's okay because he's been out for a while. And then even when he is cleared from health and safety protocols, he's going to need a little while to get reconditioned. So, but anyway, breaking news. There you go. Mitchell Robinson and Jericho Sims have been cleared from health and safety protocols, and they rejoined the team. So we'll see how much either one of those guys play against the Indiana Pacers. But that's going to be a big help because we got smashed on the boards last night. Man. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's it for me right now. I know Tony's going to have a show later on. The Queen's Court is going to be on later on tonight, so you can get a little bit more. You can check out the Weekend Review. Steph has a lot of thoughts and about what's going on with the New York Knicks right now, so make sure you tune in for that. All right. Tony, you want to talk about, what you're planning on doing with your show later on?
I mean, I don't know how many views I'm going to get, but I'm going to keep it 100. It's Julius Randle Appreciation Day. So, you're welcome to join the show, but I know a lot of you guys aren't big fans of Randall. So
listen, guys, you gotta tip Tony because he's gonna be waiting for that check from Julius.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys. Tony, what time are you going on?
6:30. 2 more hours.
6:30. Make sure you guys get over there. Subscribe to Knicks and Bruises. I'm putting the link in the chat right now. Subscribe to link to Knicks and Bruises, and join them in appreciating Julius Randle at 6:30.
Right, man. We miss him.
You know what I'm saying? Join them. So make sure you subscribe. I just put the link in there right now, ladies and gentlemen. So go over there and do that. Andy, any last words before we get out of here?
Listen, it's going to be hard at least a couple of games, before the Knicks will be at, I hope, like maybe not full strength, but at least, mostly at full strength. Cross your fingers for the Kemba news. That's not going to be really bad. We know that D-Rose is going to be still a couple of weeks away, but, we can't afford Kemba to be out for the season at this point, because that's going to mean, listen, that might mean Fournier is going to be our starting point guard, man. So cross your fingers for Kemba to be healthy.
Yeah, I hope so, man. I hope so, man. I never thought that we'd see I did not think that the Knicks were going to be like this season. It was going to be so crazy all over the place. But here it is. And you know what? If they find a way to make the play-in or make the playoffs, they deserve a lot of credit.
Yeah.
Going through all of this, it's been one thing after another with this team. And if they find a way to still get into the playoffs, they deserve a whole heck of a lot of credit. And I'm going to be ready to give it to them, So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. Make sure you check out Knicks and Bruises at 6:30. Then at 8:30, check out the Queen's Court, and then tomorrow I'll be back on the pregame. So, we got a lot coming. We out. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.